It has been almost a month now since Sony announced that they were going to end the production of physical discs starting in January 2028. And that entire month, Sony has been radio silent, not commenting on any of the backlash that's been going on online until now. Except they haven't responded to gamers still. No, they responded to investors. And if that alone isn't all that you need to know about how Sony feels about you, then I don't know what to tell you. There's so many people in the comments or other comments online defending Sony, saying you just got to accept it. Digital is the future. I have no idea when gamers got so soft, and being soft and taken advantage of is become just a big flex now. But Sony has shown their hands that the people who supported them, their diehard fans, the fans that love physical media and physical games, they do not care about you. You are an insignificant ant to them. And those who are supporting them and defending them about digital media, they don't care about you either. You are the sheep that they want you to be. Congratulations. You've been taken advantage of and are being brainwashed. Check this out. So, Sony CFO Lin Tao says player backlash over PlayStation ending physical disc in production in 2028 has no impact on their business so far. You don't matter. You don't matter. At this point in time, we are not seeing any impact on our business as of now. But going forward, about the content sales, a large part is already digitized. And therefore, as a result of the discontinuation of discs, we don't see that there will be any negative impact on our business. Now, of course, remember, we know factually that Sony has been fudging these numbers towards digital sales. However, as I already said, the players have attachments, and we have to think about how to respond to those feedbacks. Oh yeah, that's all the physical is just a memento. That's why they try to do the code in the box, so you have a physical representation on the shelf for a memento. It's not about ownership, it's just about the attachment. And so I don't know, were they going to try to do like a digital trophy thing kind of again, or like the PlayStation stars, you can get to digital rewards. We also got this. Sony CFO says that discs are not a big factor in differentiation between PS5 and PC. What? We don't feel that disc is the factor. Okay, so everyone who's just switching to PC, you're wrong, because PlayStation is not a PC. No, it's not. When it's all digital, it's not just gonna be a PC. What are you talking about? PlayStation has curated content. That's one of the strengths. That's why you should pay $1,000 for this box and never buy a sale of a digital game. No. They have curated content. Man, what are we talking about? The game environment is being stable right after having just an 8-hour down PlayStation services downtime. Are you kidding me? A stable game environment. That's another strength right there. And compared to high-end gaming PCs, our products are more affordable. Hardware maybe, not the games. And they're not gonna be affordable either moving forward with your dynamic pricing. So we don't feel that the disc itself is a strong factor for differentiation. So going forward, we can coexist peacefully with PC games. Yeah, you can coexist in last place in the console war and against PC games because, I agree, when it comes to an all-digital PlayStation 6, there are a lot of people that are like, I'm just gonna switch to PC. I don't blame them for thinking that because, yeah, why would you get an all-digital PlayStation 6? Your backlog, there's only so many first-party PlayStation games, right? PlayStation 5 doesn't have that many exclusives, so most of those games also exist on PC. And I think there's many people who would rather just buy the PC and rebuy the games as they play, especially as they go on sale. On Steam, on GOG, definitely if you're on PC, really look into GOG because that's the way to do it. For me personally, I'm pretty much all in on Nintendo Switch 2. They actually are making games full on cart. The people who think that it's all digital, they're just game key cards, that is just factually incorrect. That was just a big launch window thing to get, people in the door and on store shelves day one. As time goes on, more and more games are full on cart. You do have the really greedy third-party companies like your Capcom, your Square Enix, your Bandai Namco. They're never going to put their games full on cart, but when you look at the library, it is getting closer and closer to almost a majority of games full on cart. Or also just retro, right? If you want to still be a PlayStation and Sony fan, if you want to be a real Sony fanboy, you should be playing PlayStation 1, 2, 3, and 4. I guess you can stick with 5 with games that are already physical on discs, but Sony does not care about you. Those who are defending Sony like to the death right now, who are going to every comment section, who are and just saying digital's the future, this is the way it has to be. Uh, Congratulations. You are allowing Sony, you are being the sheep that Sony wants you to be, and they don't care about you. They didn't respond about this to you. They responded to the investors, and they care about the investors. And you guys are the same people that in 5 years, we're gonna have the PlayStation 6, all digital games. And when those games get increased, and they say that the digital games need to now be $100, and they're gonna give their reasoning, right? They're gonna be like, it's because of the increased cost of game production, the rise in AI costs. We have the changing market environments. We have to price our games at $100, and you guys are going to be the same sheep who are going to be like, it has to be $100. They have to make money. Like, these games aren't made for free. They have to pay their employees. Just get with the times. I'm sorry that you don't have money. Games have to be $100. And that's, you guys are going to be those people that do that. And you probably are also going to be the people who are someday going to be like, I can't afford gaming anymore. I'm just going to get a new hobby. So, like, congratulations. But Sony responded to investors, not gamers. And they said that they're not worried about it. And they don't care. But also, let's look at another quick little wording that they have right here. It says, Sony responds to the backlash over ending PlayStation disc. We put in a lot of thought and time, and we cautiously considered this, and we came to this conclusion, and we're going to cautiously move this forward. So, yeah, I don't know when they say they're moving forward with it. They did use the term cautiously. I do find that interesting. That's not like the biggest hope. This is going to be a long war, right? A long battle, and there's so many people who are giving up after just 3 or 4 weeks. They're tired of the content, they're tired of the conversation, but it's just how it is, right? It's going to be a long battle. Sony wants you to give up. So if you've given up, congratulations, you're the sheep that Sony wants you to be, and they are going to betray you at any moment. When it comes to money, they care about their investors, not about the gamer. And you are going to be rewarded by no means for supporting and defending Sony. So yeah, I encourage you, switch to PC, switch to Nintendo Switch 2, switch to retro games. Retro games is honestly like the best way to go, to be quite honest, when it comes to modern gaming. And continue to keep up the good fight and keep up the pressure. I believe that after they made this announcement that the Sony stock prices have gone up, but what do investors know, right? They can keep painting this narrative. They can keep having this big ego and saying everything's be okay. They can keep fudging the numbers, and they're trying to manifest this all digital future monopoly. Like, they don't want to believe, but they probably did the same thing behind the scenes with stuff like Concord and those live service games. Like, they probably had these meetings with the investors, and they're like, we're going to release Concord. It's going to be the biggest game. It's going to be the biggest IP since Star Wars. And that didn't happen. Gamers pushed back because it was no fun. And it's just so obvious right now with the future of PlayStation that there's just no reason to go to PlayStation to play all these same games that were on PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5, just another iteration of the exact same game, when you can play pretty much everything else on PC, on Switch 2. And if you don't even want to go to the modern gaming future because it's looking worse and worse every day, go retro gaming. That's really like the future, and that's the gaming paradise. I always believed in a balance of physical and digital games. I've been a hybrid physical and digital owner, and we're about to lose that balance, and I do think that's going to affect PC over time. That's why I'm not ever falling on PC, because there's no balance. There's no physical and digital balance. As soon as physical's gone, digital's going to skyrocket. The balance is gone. Your rights are gone. People are saying that we should be supporting like physical rights and like digital licenses and all of that, and that we should have better rights and ownerships with our digital games. And I don't trust Sony for a second when it comes to that, okay? If Sony comes out and is just like, yeah, we're going to guarantee the game's always there and that you can... I don't trust them at all. There's no reason to trust Sony right now. If you're a gamer, you're not an investor, and Sony only cares about the investors. As soon as it goes bad for the investors, they're going to make any change, right? Nothing's forever. They say something's forever. It ain't forever. They're going to change as soon as it affects their bottom line. And so, I don't know, keep fighting the fight. Comment, no disc, don't buy. I think it's going to go a long way. They're being cautious about this whole situation, and I think that I don't think this is a battle that's going to be won in weeks. It's going to be months, and it's going to be, January 2028 is a year away, and if we're getting close and the noise gets more and more, Maybe they'll fold. Maybe some change will happen. Maybe we'll win a battle and not necessarily the war, but keep going. I know it might seem like there's a lot of people with those TikTok attention spans that can't handle a long battle and they want to move on and they're tired of it and they'd rather just give in and go all digital. But that's not the move. That's what Sony wants you to do, and you can go ahead and be that sheep that they want you to be. But you're gonna see. You're gonna see in the long run what that ends up being like. So, like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. See you in the next one. Later.